What's up, my Stopstone? RighteousRaikou here, discharging a update video for our next Let's Play of Pokemon. Now, I hinted at Emerald that we'd be unveiling what we'd be going over today. And I'd say yes and no. Because it all involves this right here. This will choose what game we'd be playing. And it also has a little bit to do with the stipulation, but I'll get to that after we find out what game we're playing. Now, to read off the choices I have on a little list I made up beforehand, we got, if we roll a 1, we get Pokemon Leaf Green. If you roll a 2, we get Platinum. If you roll 3, we get Crystal. If you roll a 4, we get Pokemon White or Black. Obviously, when it says Leaf Green, it means also Fire Red. Platinum, I prefer Platinum over Diamond and Pearl, but again, all three of those are interchangeable. White, obviously, same difference for that. Number 5 is Pokemon Yellow, and number 6 is Red and Blue. Now, you may think, oh, why both 1, 5, and 6 all have to do with first gen. You're correct. But the thing is the reason why Yellow is different than Red is because I actually might not randomize Yellow. Or I don't even think Pokemon Yellow can be randomized. What I mean is that our starting companion might not even be, it might be Pikachu no matter what. And even if it's not, we still get 3 starters for free, and God knows what they are. And plus, I mean, come on, you can't just not like Yellow. And, I mean, if Yellow is kind of repetitive, because we already have 3 5th gen elements here, what I may do, because they're all technically, they're all Kanto, I may change out either Yellow or Red and Blue for Heart Gold, Soul Silver. So that way we got 2 of Johto, 2 of Kanto, 1 of Sinnoh. Because I'm trying to think. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 other regions. So I mean, you can only do so much there. And then so Leaf Green, Platinum, Crystal, White, Yellow, and Red and Blue. That's the choices we got here. So let's take this little die here and let's figure out what we're going to be playing. 3. We are going to be playing Pokemon Crystal. Now, to explain what I was talking about, our little stipulation, this is our stipulation. Now you may ask, why is this stipulation? This is what I like to call a dice lock. Every action we take is a roll of the die. You might not hear the sound of that, which not all the time you're going to hear because I'm rolling on top of a piece of paper, so that way it stops. It has minimum rolling, because otherwise I have to re-roll and re-roll, because I want a true roll. Because if it falls over, I'm not going to count it. Here's going to be this is going to be kind of a little bit of a lengthy intro to the rules, and then this is to more in-depth go through them. Meanwhile, when I actually start the game, I'm going to probably just quickly breeze on to what the dice lock is. So now, a dice lock, to basically understand this, it's playing with Nuzlocke rules, but modded. So, here's how it's different. All the Nuzlocke rules are the same, but now the dice lock modifies them, and I'm not going to explain the Nuzlocke rules because I always have them posted on every single one of my Emerald videos. So if you want to look at what the rules are, just look at literally any of the past Pokemon Emerald videos, and they'll have all the Nuzlocke rules. Now to explain the dice lock. Oh, I can barely hear myself. That's the one disadvantage I have with over-ear headphones, is I can barely hear myself. Might as well just take this down, the whole point. See, they're wireless. I love them. And these are basically just stereo. I'm using a different mic. Here's the thing with the dice lock. The choice of starter will not be mine. This is my choice of starter. It's going by sets of 2s. 1 and 2 is choice 1. 3 and 4 is choice 2. And wait. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so yeah. 1 and 2. 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Let me see if I can count, because I just finished the final Pokemon Emerald Nuzlocke. I just finished recording that. That should be up, I want to say, in next 8 hours. I'm recording this at 6:30 in the morning. It's ridiculous. I don't even know why I'm still awake. But I just want to do this quick, because by the time I pretty much wake up, it's gonna be time for me to do more important things. Not to say this isn't important, but there's other obligations I have. Now, to explain Dice Lock, first I explain the starters. It's all going to be determined by this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each 2. So let's just say I just rolled, so I got 3. I'd have to choose choice 2. Every encounter we get is not going to be first encounter. Now that's where it's different than a Nuzlocke. Right before we hit a patch of grass, we have to roll the die. Whatever number it is, that's the encounter we have to grab. So it doesn't even matter if we see and that's the one thing. I am not going to use a legendary clause, but I will use a shiny clause, because legendary clause, that can happen the first encounter, and that just breaks everything. So no, there's not going to be a legendary clause for this, but there will be a shiny clause, because I mean, the chances of running into a shiny is so low in 2nd gen that you might as well catch it. Though the given shiny, if they do have a given shiny of like Gyarados, we'll take it, but that's about it. Like, if it's a given shiny, despite even there's no dice rolls for static Pokemon. That's the one thing. So if I want to do a trade, I do not have to roll for the trade. Nor for any static Pokemon do I have to roll. It's only for wild encounters. If a Pokemon faints, we have to roll. Or we have, I guess, the option of rolling, if we really want to. I mean, I will always roll, but that's up to you guys. If you guys want to play along with the dice lock, you make sure always you have dice right next to you. I mean, you could do a number generator of 1 through 6, but not my thing. I wanted true blue dice. And for those who, just sidetrack note, for those who ask how I got this idea, a YouTuber of the name Nate Wants to Battle, I think I'm probably going to put the link in the description, he does Di-Fi battles on his channel and over at Lumio Station, which actually they're pretty interesting, because every competitive choice is made by a die. But this takes it to a whole new level. So now we're basing a whole game off a die. It's pretty interesting. It kind of was a spur of the moment thing that I thought of, but then I had to think of more and more and more how to make it more interesting. If a Pokemon dies, that's where the Nuzlocke rules come into place. I can roll if it's going to stay alive or not. The odds are elimination. The evens are keep. That's how we're going to play. So just for sake, I'm going to keep rolling whenever I want to show an example, because I can't think of numbers off the top of my head at the moment. So I rolled a 2. So that means, let's say we had, I don't know, a Hoot. Even though that's probably not going to be with the randomizer. Let's just say we counter Hoot. And, well, let's say we have a Hoot and it faints. And we get a 2, Hoot still lives to have another fight. And now, here's the funny thing with encounters. And, well, here's with all dice rolls. And now, it comes down to this also counts me for switching out in battle, picking move in battle. Number 6, I'm gonna have 1 through 4's moves, 5 is switch, 6 is a reroll. It's it's gonna be a reroll. It has to be because there's no Mega Evolutions in this game. So it has to be 1 through 4, and then 5, 6 is gonna be reroll. And then what I'm going to do from there, then it's just picking moves. When a Pokemon levels up and it gets a move, that is not rolled. What I mean by that is I don't roll to see if I choose it or not. I just choose it if I want. I get rid of it if I don't. That's how it's going to be. It's not going to be I'm going to roll for literally everything. We ain't about the D&D life. Where, oh, gotta roll for perception, oh, gotta roll for attack, gotta roll for this and this. No. It's not going to be too in-depth for the rolling. We're not going to also be like Twitch plays Pokemon where gotta roll to see if I can go left, gotta see if I can have to go up or not. No. We're not going to play like that. But it's going to come down to attacks. It's going to come down to choices. But what I mean by choices is if we go to one place before another, or if we decide to go to one place for an encounter or not. And now here's one thing that is going to be very, very, very different. Is there's going to be something that I like to call is argue with the judge. The die is the judge. And you'll know I don't literally just start debating with the judge that the roll it had was wrong. Now, here's the fun thing with the way you argue with the judge. So let's say you have a low roll of... You can do this for any roll you have. You have, let's just say, you get a 5. I rolled a 6, but 5. Now, you have to get a 5 or better to argue with the judge and win. If you get lower, overruled, oh well, you're shit out of luck. Now, if I get a 6, that's where it gets tricky. That's when I roll twice. Because since I make it equal or better, I have to roll twice. Which you think, oh, that's already broken. No, it's really not. Because then you have to come to account of that I can get like a 3, a 2, and a 1, and oh well, that's complete failure. So it's very, very, very complex, but it's very, very, very fun. And then to choose Pokemon out of the PC, so let's just say we don't grab Pokemon out of the PC for a while, and we have, like, just say 3 Pokemon in the party and a shit ton on the PC. We have to roll for what Pokemon to take. So let's just say there's 2 rows. We would have to roll either 1 or 2, which would be odds and evens. And then you'd roll again to see which position. So I got 6 and 6, so it'd be second row, 6th position. Obviously reading left to right, not right to left. And my left to my right, not the other way around. But I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. It's going to be very interesting seeing everything randomized with the dice lock. Because now every decision we make is going to come down to this. And if we want to use an item in battle, we have to roll for the item too, actually. That's what's going to make... But that is in battle. If we're outside of battle, the dice roll does not commence. Because that makes no sense, because it's not going to affect gameplay at that point. You may think, oh, well, it might affect the death if we encounter a patch of grass. But if you're not in a patch of grass, you're not going to encounter a battle. It makes no sense. As long as you're out with... you're not within a line of sight of a trainer, and you're not in patch of grass, you can easily just grab an item in your bag, and you don't have to worry about jack shit. But if you want to get an item during battle, you have to roll for it. Now, the way I'm going to do it is, again, odds and evens. So anything that's a do or don't is an odd and even. So keep or not keep, that's odd and even. Get or not get is odd and even. And you know what? Actually, we're going to make trades too. Is odd and even. Ugh, kidding me. Freaking charging lights blinking. Ugh, I hate this thing sometimes. Yeah, we're going to make even trading Pokemon going to be odds and evens. So that's going to be really interesting now. So but first, the things with the trading, obviously we can't agree with it unless we have the Pokemon. So we're just going to test the waters with the person, see what they want, and if we have what they want, then we have to flip for odds and evens. But we have obviously the right to just say, oh, they don't have a good Pokemon, we can just skip it. It doesn't affect anything. There's no encounters lost. And one thing I want to go back with is the argue with the judge. You get one argue per gym badge. So when you gain a gym badge, you gain a judge argue. So you do these stack? Yes, to a degree. So you can't go throughout the whole game and have 8 stacks of judge argues. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna allow 8, but it's not gonna like. There's no such thing as doubling on stacks. You get a max of 8. You can stack them, but you're gonna stop at 8. Actually, I'm sorry, 9. It's gonna be 9 because you get one start of game and then one for every badge. So it's gonna be a total of 9 if you stack. But I might not stack. I'm probably gonna roll if I'm only gonna argue if I really need to. The best way to argue is on low numbers, honestly, but that's only if you want to argue. Like, if you see an encounter and you don't like that encounter, you don't have to capture it if you have an argue with the judge. If you don't have an argue, you have to capture it. That's basically how it is. So if you roll a 1 and you want to argue it, it's really easy to argue. Now, actually, I'm going to make this even more difficult because it's as I said, equal or better usually. Now, I want to make 6 and 1s the hardest ones possible. Now, 1 is going to, if you roll a 1 and you want to argue a judge, you have to, no, because even if you do half, it's still, yeah, because I'm trying to figure this out, because I actually didn't think of it this far. 1, you would have to roll twice, and if that number is not larger than, if that number is not larger than 5, you know what? No, we'll make it 4. No, it's still not good. Yeah, see, I didn't want to have to come up with stuff on the spot, but I just realized how 1 is really stupidly easy. Even though it's a 1 in 6 chance to get a 1. But still, that's a big odd, because then you can easily just argue it. So if you want to argue a 1, what we would have to do is we would have to obviously re-roll again, but we have to get either, we have to get one of 4 numbers, 2, 3, 4, or 5. We cannot get a 1, we cannot get a 6. You think, oh, that sounds easy. It's not supposed to be insanely difficult for that, but it's not also supposed to be too easy. Because, I mean, the freaking ending for Emerald, I mean, I walked through them and only had 1 loss of the team member. Freaking Suicune, ugh. But that's how we're going to do it. That it's going to be a, 4 out of 6 chance, really, to be able to beat that. Actually, you know what? No, we're making it even tougher to argue it. You have to get 2, 3, or 4. So 1, 5, and 6, you have to it's automatically a dismissed. And what I mean by dismissed is that your argue is basically bullshit. It's not worth anything. And then the other thing is approved. It's going to be approved and dismissed. Approved is you're good. Dismissed, argue is no good. But that's basically what the dice lock is going to be. If more things come up to explain, I'll explain them either the first episode or possibly just in the middle of the game when I actually figure out how to work around this, because this is something new to me. I'm not used to actually being able to do all this, because I've never done an original lock before, so I'm actually gonna have a lot of fun with this, and I hope you guys are too. But thank you all for watching. I hope to see all you out there for the first ever Pokemon Crystal randomized dice lock. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to hit that like, comment, hit that subscribe button. Quick question today would probably be, what is your opinion on the dice lock? And also, would you be playing along? If you don't play along with me side by side, well, obviously not side by side, but even if you not exactly play along, just what do you think about the idea about having every fatal decision in the hands of this? But I'm gonna head out. Thank you all for watching. This is Righteous Raikou here, signing out, reminding you to keep riding the line.